Hey guys, so today I am going to be doing another decorating video, and we are going to be decorating this part of my island where Able Sisters is. So I decided to make a little fruit orchard area, and I know that I'm not being original by doing this because literally every single person has a fruit orchard on their island. But I decided to do one anyway because I thought it would look cute, so that's what we're doing. So as you can see, I've already dug up all the trees on that part of the island, and there was also some shooting stars the night that I was filming this. So I apologize if you see me looking up at the sky trying to make some wishes, but we need those star fragments. But yeah, like I said, we dug up all the trees on that part of the island. So the next step was for me to dig up all the existing fruit trees that I had around my island. I kind of have all the fruit trees kind of scattered around randomly just because at the time when I was getting fruit and stuff like that, I didn't really think too much about where I wanted them. I just was like, there's a space, I'm going to put a tree there. But I think it's kind of nice to have them organized somewhere, and also it was going to make it a lot easier for me to figure out how many trees I had on my island, like how many fruit trees, because I wasn't sure and I feel like I had more of one fruit than the others. So I think it's nice just to have them all in one place and to keep track of them. So yeah, first things first, eat all the fruit and then gather all the trees. And then I was going to use the existing trees in my inventory to replace the fruit trees so that my island didn't look bare after I dug up all these trees, because fruit trees make up like half the trees that I have on the bottom part of my island, so I didn't want the whole place to look bare. And so I decided to replace those trees with the regular trees I had in my inventory, and it actually worked out pretty well. Like once I dug up all the fruit trees, I had just enough trees to kind of replace them with, and then some I didn't replace just because I felt like a tree didn't need to be there. Like once I dug up the tree, I was like, oh, it looks nice with the space, so I didn't bother doing it for everything. Once I had dug up all of the trees, I kind of realized that I had way more apple trees than anything else. So you'll notice that in my inventory I keep like 6 orange trees, but orange trees are my native fruit, so obviously there's going to be a lot of those around the island, and I kind of left most of those where they were, but the most non-native fruit trees that I had ended up being apple trees. And I was trying to think why. I was like, why do I have so many apple trees but not as many trees of the rest of the fruit? And I think it's because apples are the secondary fruit that I get on mystery islands. So if you guys ever go to mystery islands, you'll always see on the trees either your native fruit or like one other fruit. And for me, if I don't see oranges on a mystery island, I always see apples. So I feel like the reason why I have so many apple trees is because that's the fruit I have the most access to outside of oranges. And so yeah, also decided to leave the fruit trees by the museum because that's like its own little decorated area, so I didn't need to move those, but every other fruit tree had to go. So after I got all the trees gathered up and organized in my inventory, the next step was to actually plot them down in the area that I had. And one thing I've noticed is that when most people make fruit orchards, they kind of have all their trees lined, so they all have their trees like in straight lines, very organized, very symmetrical, very like linear, which is great if that's your island aesthetic, like if you like having your trees in rows and things like that. But personally, I think one, that doesn't look very natural, and two, I don't really like when the trees are in lines just because it makes it hard to see around them and things like that. So my plan was to kind of place them around, but in ways that looked more natural than if they were all in straight lines. And I say that like having trees in a bunch of straight lines doesn't look natural, even though I know that you can plant them in straight lines in real life and that's how they look in real life. But yeah, to me it just doesn't look right. I feel like it's not really what I wanted to go for on my island. So I decided to put them, you know, kind of in a natural sort of way so that they weren't so like linear and straight. And then I also decided to group them by fruit because I feel like that naturally makes sense. So you want all the orange trees together, you want all the pear trees together and things like that. So once I started to categorize where I wanted the trees to go and kind of like map out where all the different fruit trees would go, it kind of just fell into place. Like everything sort of kind of blended together. And I was really happy with the way that it was turning out. Like, I don't know what it is, but as soon as I was like, okay, so the orange trees go here, and then the pear trees will go here, and then the cherry trees will go like down towards the beach. Like, as soon as I kind of decided those things, everything just sort of fell into place. I was like, this looks great. Everything's going well. The place is going to look cute. I'm going to put a path to run through the place. It'll look very foresty, very adorable. And that was all great until I had to place the apple trees. Now, I have more apple trees than all the other trees, I already told you guys, but I was kind of going with 6 trees per fruit tree. So, you know, like 6 orange trees, 6 pear trees, because I had about around 6 trees for every type of fruit. So I was like, 6 trees is a good number, and it'll like fill the space nice. But with the apple trees, well, one, I have way more than 6 apple trees. So what I did was, after I placed the trees, I just cut down the extra apple trees I had, just because I felt weird just having like random apple trees somewhere else on my island when they were all confined to this one area. So yeah, I cut down the excess apple trees, but that wasn't even the main problem about the apple trees. The problem is that I didn't have enough room on this part of the island for the apple trees, and I kind of knew that if I moved Able Sisters, I would have enough room for the apples and everything would be fine. But I didn't really want to move Able Sisters. I really like that it's there, and I thought it was kind of cute that it would be here in this little fruit orchard. So yeah, I had a whole dilemma about the apple trees. And you'll see that. You'll see me just wandering around being like, okay, so like, what am I going to do about my apple tree dilemma? But eventually I kind of just squeezed them in at the start of the area. Like, as you come in from the left hand side, I kind of just squeezed them in there. They still don't look great to me, but I've kind of just accepted it. Like, I feel like once I moved the lamppost from the corner and put the second apple tree there, like, it kind of worked out. And it also meant that I could still keep my whole like 6 trees per fruit sort of thing going on, which is nice. I did try to extend the little corner where my lamppost was, because I was really stubborn about the lamppost. I was like, I want the lamppost there, but I want another apple tree there. But even as I extended the land out into the river, I was kind of like, I can't do this because I have bridges, and there's no point in me having bridges if I'm just gonna like connect the land anyway. And I didn't want to connect the land. I kind of like the way that the layout of my island is on the ground. So I decided against that. And eventually I was like, okay, I have to move the lamppost. But it's fine. Like I said, I think it looks good that it worked out. So once I had all the trees down, and the next thing was for me to lay out a path. And this is like the first part of my island where I've actually properly put down a path that connects everything together. And the reason being is because I did originally think I was going to be one of those people that puts a path all around their island to connect everything. But 1, that takes a lot of effort, and 2, I feel like it doesn't really match the aesthetic of my island. So I feel like if I put a path everywhere, it wouldn't really suit the area. So I decided not to do that. But for this particular foresty area, I thought it was kind of nice to have a path to sort of like lead the way. And it also breaks up the space between the little like fruit tree areas. So yeah, basically the path here is just for decorative purposes. I didn't know what else to put, and also like when I put the trees in the different sections, I kind of envisioned that a path would be there anyway. It just kind of made sense. And this is also kind of weird, but this whole like area makes me think of Pokemon. I didn't think that I was being inspired by Pokemon, but I think somewhere in the back of my mind I was thinking very Pokemon-esque, because I just kind of think of like, you know, whenever you're traveling in Pokemon and you go to the forest and things like that, and you see like the berry trees and it kind of looks like this. Yeah. So I was like, oh yeah, it's kind of like Pokemon, that's cute. But yeah, so that's what I was thinking in terms of like putting down my path. And I think it turned out really well, and not only did I put down the base dirt path, I also put down path edges. So I've seen these people on Tumblr who post like their path designs, and they have like little edge decorations to go along with them. And I always looked at those and I always thought like, hey, that seems like a lot of effort. I don't know why you would go to the effort of 1, paving your entire island, and then secondly, going over that path with the path edging so that it all looks cohesive and nice. But that night when I was doing this, like in the fruit orchard, I was kind of like, you know what? I'm gonna do it too because I think it'll look cute. And yes, it took me twice as long to pave this part of the island, but you know what? It looks cute. I really like it. I will leave like the designer code if you want like the little path edges as well in the description below. But yeah, I really like it. I mean, I didn't download like corner pieces, and I'm not sure if they had corner pieces, but that doesn't really bother me that much. I kind of like the way it flows. So yeah, even though I thought I'd never be that person who has the time to pave your town twice, never mind once, I did it, and I have no regrets because it actually looks nice. And then at the end, I also decided to move some of my flowers. So yeah, when I was initially placing down trees, my flowers were getting in the way. And these are just flowers that I had lying around to breed because I had the space on my island there just to breed flowers. But I ended up moving those, so it was a lot easier to breed the flowers without the trees getting in the way, and also move them to a more visible spot so you could actually see the flowers instead of being obstructed by trees. And so yeah, that is my fruit orchard all complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is the first video where I decided to do the voiceover after I'd already filmed all the footage. I thought that this might be a better way to do these decorating videos, just so that I can speed them up and you guys don't see how tedious it was for me to do this in real time. So let me know what you think of this new format. I don't know if I'm always going to do this, but I think it might be better just because sometimes these decorating projects take a long time. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And let me know in the comments below how you like your trees laid out. Do you like the sort of like random placement of trees where it kind of looks natural, or do you prefer them all to be in like straight lines? Just because I'd be interested to know. Like I said, I don't really like all my trees to be in straight lines just because it makes it hard to see them. In terms of like seeing the fruit and everything like that, it makes it hard to see. And also I just like think it looks a little bit unnatural. So yeah, those are my thoughts, and like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.